Good afternoon, friends. I am Professor Srinivasaya from the Department of English, Government Prashad College, Gubi. I am handling first BA, first semester optional English of Tumkur University. In the earlier session, that is session number 28, I provided or presented my PPT on the interpretation, analysis, and discussion of the poem Death Be Not Proud by John Donne. Now, before that, this is session number 27. This session actually gives an introduction to John Donne as well as to the poem in a glance. So, this is session number 27, Death Be Not Proud by John Donne. The learning outcomes of this session are to make the students understand the historical and religious background of the 17th century England, to make the students familiar with the 17th century metaphysical school of poetry, to make the students understand and interpret John Donne as an important metaphysical poet. In session number 25, we learned enough background, enough information regarding the historical and religious condition of the 17th century England. Due to many changes which were happening in different fields, especially in science and technology, the different themes gave way themselves into the literature, and that is the result of the themes of the 17th century metaphysical poetry. These are the major themes of the poetry of John Donne. He deals with love and romance, medicine and psychology, scientific discovery, philosophy, and geographical exploration. We can also have some kind of historical and religious background to John Donne. John Donne was the prominent poet of the metaphysical school. He was influenced by the historical and religious happenings of the 17th century England. The early 17th century was an age of transition, that is, change. Many changes were happening. Much of what we consider the modern mind began during that period. The modern thinking began during the 17th century. The religious breakdown of the established order with the dreams of reform and social rebirth by levelers and diggers, Puritans and Anabaptists, Quakers and skeptics, all these were different religious faiths. The transformation of England from an agricultural to a manufacturing country, these were the changes characteristic of that period. The heritage of Queen Elizabeth I, who died in 1603, was one of peace and prosperity. She gave very steady and peaceful, strong ruling to England. Although her monarchy had begun as an absolute one, she delegated her authority wisely, and patriotism was loyal to the Queen. During her period, people were very loyal to the country and to the Queen. Elizabeth, as the supreme head of the Church of England, maintained religious tolerance as the Puritan and Catholic minorities strengthened. Elizabethan developments in science were great and included new discoveries in navigation. So, during that period, the colonialism started. We all know that European countries were in the race, in the competition to discover the unheard countries, lands of the world, and to make them colonized. And developments were taking place in astronomy, cartography, and medicine. England came to accept the Copernican view of the earth instead of the Ptolemaic system. See, according to the Ptolemaic system, the belief was that earth was flat and actually sun revolves around the earth. This was dismissed during that period because of the change or the discoveries happened in space and technology. Copernican view believes and proved that earth was round and the earth was one of the planets and it revolved around the sun. This was a monumental change which happened in the field of science. See, all these things were instrumental in shaping Donne as a metaphysical poet. Now, this death be not proud. This in this session, I am going to just give you a glance into the poem before going to into the session number 28 in detail. John Donne is very popular for his love poems, and his main themes are love and religion with philosophy. His poetry is known for the strain of dialectic, subtle play of argument and wit, erudite and fantastic, the strain of vivid realism, and etc. The poem Death Be Not Proud is a 14-line poem or a sonnet. We all know the sonnet form was became very popular in the Elizabethan time under the poets like Shakespeare, and we know Shakespeare has written 156 sonnets, and this sonnet form continues even in the 17th century also. The poem addresses death directly, denying that it is a tyrant. Paradoxically, death is certain power, yet Donne's apprehension of eternal life denies its power. All of us know that death is all powerful. Birth and death are natural. We cannot escape death. But very interestingly, here in this poem, the poet denies that all powerful character to the death. He goes on arguing and then proves that death is actually a slave to human being, or it is not that all powerful. The second quatrain develops the idea from another standpoint of death and sleep as brothers, an accepted convention which posits the greater pleasure that must flow from death. Means, according to one belief, death and sleep are brothers because the aim of both death and sleep are to give relief or rest to the human being or to his physical body. Death actually gives complete eternal sleep or eternal rest, and likewise, sleep also gives relief or rest to the physical body which is tired. In that way, both death and sleep are considered as brothers. Good men die young, he says, the poet says, to deliver their souls from sin, from the body as the soul's prison, and to rest their bones. The poet tells that this physical body is actually like a prison. It holds the soul, in its physical body. Many good people, after their long travel of life or very short journey of life, because of tiredness and because of sins committed in their life, they want to free their soul from this polluted, sinful body. And when they die, the soul liberates and gets its freedom. But actually, soul does not die, only the physical body dies. He takes this point to argue and prove that death is not all powerful. Death does only seems to be mighty, actually it is not. In that way, because we die when death comes, death is all powerful. But the poet very strangely proves that death need not be all powerful. In the second quatrain, without changing tone, Donne lists what comprises the enslavement of death and states that opium or mysticism can make people sleep as well or better than death strokes. The poet gives the proof that just like death gives us long rest which is needed for the tired body, even drugs like opium also can give or provide sleep or rest to this tired physical body. In that way, death is not all powerful. Death is not the only superpower. Thus, death is foolishly puffed up with pride. One short sleep past, eternal life takes over, and death becomes non existent. Very sensitively, he tells that along with our death, death also becomes non existent. it also disappears or it also dies along with the physical body. That way, he proves that death is not very powerful and it need not be proud. The statement, "Death, thou shalt die," directly addresses the death with a final powerful statement. At the end of the poem, the poet tells that when we die, death, you also die along with us. In that way, you need not be very proud for yourself. That is his argument. Overall, the poem is a masterful argument against the power of death. The theme or the message of the poem is that death is not some all powerful being that humans should fear. We need not fear to death. Those who fear death, cowards, die every moment. The eternal truth is death is natural like birth, and we should be ready, be prepared to face it anytime it comes. Instead, death is actually a slave to the human race and has no power over our souls. Very strangely, very interestingly, John Donne proves that with this argument, because death also dies along with us, our physical body, it is actually a slave to the human race because there is no death to our soul. I have taken the help of these sources for the interpretation of this poem. The History of English Literature by Henry Hudson, The Metaphysical Poets, a critical study by Shakti Batra, and also, of course, internet sources. Thank you.